Welcome to the Brown Spade Podcast Show. Today we should have a lot of fun because we have repeating guests. But before we begin, I hope y'all like these t-shirts. If so, hit us up in the comment. We can hook y'all up. But anyway, before we get started, we've already done a show on why men fail at relationships before anybody chime in and say anything. So today we'll be talking about why do women fail at relationships. So let's start with the introduction. Okay, we have two of our repeating lovely guests. We got Miss Mo in the building. How you doing, Mo?
Hi, I'm good. How's everyone?
All right, and we got Miss Key Velvety up in the building.
Hi.
Hi.
And my brother from another mother, Cleve.
What's going on?
What's good? How y'all doing, family?
Great.
Awesome.
Good. Okay, so today's topic is why do women fail at relationships? We're gonna let these ladies start. So whichever you guys want to start first.
We're just gonna dive right in. We're just gonna skip right into it.
But I say this. We when we did the show with the fellas, with me and Daniel, it's a lot of things that we touched on. It's a lot more things that we could have spoke on as well, but we just basically got to some of the key points of what we have went through, and things that we have done. We fell short in our relationship. So
yeah, Jay White, shout out. Thanks for the support, brother.
Yeah, I checked out that podcast, and it's some of the same reasons, but you know me, optimistic. I'm going.
Yeah, we know.
I'm coming with it. It's not always a failure, though. I think it's just lessons. You know what I'm saying? Because everything may not last forever. And also, if we want to use failure, I'll go ahead and submit to that.
You can't change the topic, Mo. But go ahead.
And I understand. So there's more than one failure, though, and I think people don't look at it that way. The other is sometimes in relationships you fail yourself. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily fail the other person. You can still be in it. You can still be, going through the motions. The other person could be aware that it's not where it needs to be, but you're failing yourself by not speaking up, by not making changes, by not communicating, all those type things. So it can be two failures, not just necessarily an end as a failure, but it could be like you're just failing yourself because you're in something that you maybe shouldn't be or should pivot and change so that you're happy in it.
Okay.
I think we many times we fail ourselves in the beginning because women are notorious for feeling like, one, they can change people. 2, falling for potential, and 3, not knowing who they really are, like as the woman, like you don't even know yourself.
Right.
So how dare you feel like you're ready to merge with another person and you're not the best version of yourself? And we're forever evolving. Sure. Yet sometimes you have to just sit back and work on you. We're constantly looking to other people to complete us, and I can't stand that phrase. I'm looking for someone to complete me.
I agree.
What do you do that? Like, what about compliment you?
Sure. Compliment is the word.
But also, sometimes people dive into relationships, women do, because they don't want to be called strays by Daniel and Cleve.
Hello. Thank you, Mo. Right.
Like, they don't want to be called
strays.
So that's why here and they dive into a relationship prematurely because, they want to be called domesticated per Cleveland and Daniel. So that whole theory there that y'all put out of are you a stray or are you domesticated makes women
man.
I don't want to be called a stray. So I'm
Well,
going to.
You're not a stray. You're not a stray now, Mo. Mo, you're not a stray now.
I was never a stray, sir.
Hello. Never will be.
Maybe where y'all from, but I mean.
Yeah, the terminology that we use is pretty much, you know, how people can understand. Because a lot of times people don't know. They be like, "What am I doing?" You be like,
right.
"You're straying." Like this is what we consider a stray. But animals to do it, this is what you would consider it. So that's why
right. we were saying a person that's bouncing around. If you're bouncing in that relationship, that is straying.
So I see Jeremy White had a comment.
Yeah, he just said, "Big bro, most women fail because they are emotional and always have to be right. No accountability or acceptance of being wrong."
I just want to know who he's dating.
I know.
Like, I don't know those type of women.
But in all fairness, I do know women who do have to be right and aren't accountable. But a lot of times I don't think that's necessarily a gender thing. I think that's a personality.
It's the people thing.
Right.
Exactly.
Some women that I know, even some are very close-minded, not just when it comes to dating, but when it comes to everything. And I feel like, you know, there's a failure at the starting point of that when both parties don't recognize who the other is. So if she's presenting her full self as a closed-minded individual, because conversation will let you know that, then you know if there's no accountability. If there's a problem at work and it's never her,
right.
Is there family problems? It's never her fault. She's victim because of trauma, because of past hurts, or because of whatever. Then that is a sign that that's a person who's not going to take accountability in the relationship either. So,
I think early on, I think since we're on the topic of woman, female, I think when they try to make long-term decisions and they haven't. And they don't know what to look for. They make that's how you make bad decisions. So it's all about bad decision making because you're trying to make a permanent decision at a younger age, and you haven't gave yourself enough time to grow.
Well, here's the thing too. We have all these societal expectations, you know, and you get it from men, you get it from women, you get it from families. Like, oh my God, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have kids? When are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that? And sometimes women feel pressured into relationships, into marriage, into having children, because we have these expectations placed on us, and you encounter people that will try.
She froze.
Yeah,
wrong with you.
It's not me this time.
Yeah, y'all saw me tilt my head to make sure it wasn't all of us.
Right.
Oh, that was what it was me.
Could you repeat that, Key?
Oh.
She froze again.
My goodness. What are expectations?
Are you in Dominican Republic?
No, I'm in my house. I'm about to tell my kids to get off my Wi-Fi. Or maybe I need to go closer to my box. Y'all good? Is it good now?
Again, every time you try to explain, you froze.
Dang, I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Okay, let's try it again. So I was talking about societal expectations.
Right.
And how we're also always asked, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have babies? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And sometimes women just aren't ready, but people will make them feel bad because they're just not ready, or they have things they need to work on in themselves. So they start diving into these relationships or situationships based on societal expectations, and that's just not fair. And then you look at the woman and say, well, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Well, my sisters are married, but I'm not, and my mama won't grandbabies, and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
It's not okay.
And that's where failure comes in for self, because if you know you're not ready, you have to be accountable for, you know, really standing up to family, friends, or whomever and saying, hey, I'm not ready for that step. I'm not, you know,
right.
Path, or I haven't met someone compatible, or whatever the thing may be, so that, you know, you don't go into something that you don't want to be in just for the sake of being in a relationship or marriage. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I wonder why people you know, look at as far as
go ahead.
Married and having kids as like pressure, or is it is like pressure? Like,
well, I'll speak to that because like me, like I'm not the normal woman as far as like I was not in a rush to get married. I was not in a rush to have children. And people look at that as pressure because it is a huge commitment to be a mother and a wife. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
it is.
It is also a time limit for to have those kids as well, though, because
it is, but if you don't, but that's another thing too. I knew that my life is not over if I don't have kids. I actually never wanted children, so
right.
I was into it, but never desired. So it's different on that spectrum too. So I got lucky then because I know women who like they ache for children when we were younger, but
right.
I've never had that feeling. Like I'm happy being an aunt. I'm cool with that because
Right.
I know of being a mother. And I think that comes from the fact of my grandmother had a daycare. Most of my family had kids right out of high school, a couple in high school, a couple early 20s. And I saw that life and it just never looked appealing to me, to be honest.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And I don't either. I mean, and those who do, that's fine too, because everybody has a right to their opinion. So I don't even try to persuade people who think, oh, you're not a woman if you're not a mother. That's your opinion, but I know who I am. You know what I mean? But that pressure comes from people feel like they have to live up to someone else's expectations of what womanhood looks like, first and foremost. And womanhood for the longest, before we could work, before even after working, has been tied to not just femininity, because that actually went to the wayside, but still they speak more on being a wife and a mother than being feminine. And I like feminine
Exactly.
expressing all of it.
Okay, Jeremy, he chimed in again. He said modern Western women also fail because they prioritize their careers over having a family. A woman's purpose on earth is to be a helpmate.
Okay, Jeremy, thank you for creating the earth and telling us our purpose.
And see, and that's a society
exactly
think that they have to do XYZ, like there's no other purpose for a woman other than
that's not
what he was saying.
That's not what I
read it. Let me see.
That's not what I got. That's not what I got when I read that.
That's not what I got from that. I got you know, you can do both. You can work and do both, because most women, you know, they work. I mean, they work in
today's society, right?
Yeah, and most men work. So I didn't get that from what he said. I mean, he can basically, you know, go more into depth or detail on that, but that's not what I got from that. I got from him that, you know, that's that's the main purpose of why we were created. And people can argue that, no, that I don't believe that, but if we were not,
what is the sole purpose?
If we was not here to reproduce, and right now everybody said, you know what, I don't want
won't be life.
So it would just die out. So that is our main purpose for being here.
I agree.
No, he didn't say our. He didn't say our. He said a woman's.
Yeah.
He didn't say everyone's purpose. He said a woman's purpose.
Well, I think and I'm not speaking for him, but I'm saying I think men understand that though.
We
understand that we know we're not going to be here forever. So we know that we need to have offspring.
So just a question. Do you all feel like there's an issue with a man who chooses not to have children?
No, it's not an issue. Here's the thing. Okay, so let's say if a person let's say I have one son. My son right now, he don't have any kids. Mm-hmm. So if I pass away and he chose not to have any kids, then my lineage ends with him. Mm-hmm. So there's no more. Then my bloodline stopped because he chose not to reproduce.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So in that essence, I don't want that. I want my shit to continue.
Yeah, and most men will like to have, you know, siblings. They would like to have kids.
Right.
Because we really want to push.
It's in most women DNA. Now, I'm not saying just because you choose not to have, that's your choice, whether you're a male or female. So I'm not trying to say you have to have a child. That's not what I'm saying. But our purpose here on earth is to procreate and reproduce. Sex is for that first, and then pleasure is later. Secondary, honestly speaking.
I get that. I do. I know we're going a little off topic, but I just want
to
that with, I also believe that because human life has, evolved in a way of exponentially, if every single person right now were to mate, we would be out of resources. I mean, so I'm helping y'all balance the earth. I'm just letting y'all know.
Thank you, girl. We need balance.
We're already out of resources. I'm just saying, but anyway, back to what we were saying.
Why women fail in relationships.
Why women fail.
Yeah.
You even said something else. I can't remember what the point was, Cleve. What was your last point about failure?
Good question.
We too old for that.
Point I want to talk about. Maybe I'll think about it in a minute. Well, you guys throw out one. Me and Keith been throwing them out. One of you.
Well, let me say this. Okay, I was just trying to wait. I was just trying to, let everybody, get it off. I think also another problem that women fail in relationship is that we don't talk about it a lot. Those are daddy issues. The absence of the father, not having that first love of that male energy. I think that's very important also.
Well, that's really interesting that you mentioned that, because I think that very well could be an issue. Also, there's a lot of women, adult little girls, that had fathers in the house, but it wasn't such a positive experience.
Mm-hmm.
So those are other things. Like, a lot of women are carrying around a lot of damage. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole what causes it, or what happened to her as a little girl or as a woman. Because at some point we still have to take accountability for, as an adult, who we choose. And sometimes they choose that bad father that they had because that's what they grew up with. Sometimes they choose, what they think they want in what they missed in their father. So they look for it in a man.
Absolutely. That happened. In most cases that happen. But ones that don't, ones that didn't have a father or a responsible dad in their life, in their early years of growing up. And then so now she's looking for it and yearning for it. And when she's doing that, so she's so tied into her emotions, it causes her it causes her to make a bad decision ultimately.
It does. And also with us who have a great relationship with our dad and knew our fathers, had to come out of the societal thinking that, because it was always said when I was younger that women look for men who are like their father. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm a lot like my father. So it's actually a little bit of the opposite. I don't need a man who's like my father, because that'd be someone mirroring me, right? So I had to realize that just as amazing, if not more, that are out there and available to me and would be a better match.
So you
I think when they say like your father, I don't think they mean exactly like your father. I just think they mean a responsible man. It's just
they mean morals and values, right? Not more.
Let me tell y'all why I say they mean way more than that. They mean way more than that, because in my days of going to women's fellowship and women's group and all that when I was younger, it was really, it was character, it was communication, it was more than that.
Right.
And a lot of that too is why women fail to tell you the truth, listening to too many women, even if they're married, about what we should be looking for, because they don't know us.
I like that.
Right.
I like that.
In an intimate way that a man knows me. You know what I mean? So a woman can't really tell me what to look for.
Right.
That is very true.
And a lot of times also that we don't even see one another for who we are as women. Like we're not real. Because some of my girlfriends, I've had to tell them, listen, like I had to show them themselves, because everything they would tell me about a man they were dating, I would say, well, you do the same thing, and point that out to them. Because that's another failure, that we don't look at ourselves at times.
Right.
So.
Yeah, good point, Ma. Good point.
Yeah.
And I think when we was talking about just the father being in the household, I think if the father is in, their daughter's life or whatever, it's important that, that they bring whatever man, that they dating,
Right.
Get approval from their father because he raised you. You know, he raised you, and he actually is not going to allow a man. He's not going to choose a man for you that he doesn't think would take care of you because he's been taking care of you all your life. I
Right.
mean, that's important, but I think we don't bring, you know, our women don't bring, you know, the guys that they meet to meet their father, and I think that's one of the most important things. If your father's in your life, you should.
Goes to a certain age though. After a while,
But another thing that over.
huh?
Say that again.
After a while, I think that goes up to a certain age. When you're in your 20s, you're still molded by your parents. But as a woman that's in her 40s who has not had day-to-day molding, I don't feel that there needs to be that approval rate of he knows, or he can say, yeah, I like him or don't. And this is why, but like him knowing what's a match for me is totally different because he doesn't know all of me. You get what I'm saying? It's the
why he doesn't know his daughter.
I don't understand that.
It's the same way as your friends. There's certain things that your parents don't know about you intimately, like how you communicate.
We're not talking about the intimate part. We're talking about
that's what really makes a relationship for that's the problem. For me, the intimacy part of the relationship, how we connect, how we communicate, how we the levels of respect and all that, how soft I may be. Like he doesn't know what.
So you telling me your daddy could not see the qualities in the people that you date?
He could, but he's not around him enough. Like the guy I date now, like he sees him and he approves. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like if he hated him, I would take heed. But I'm saying we are as even though I know my dad, talk to him often. Like even now through the pandemic, I don't see my dad all the time. He's 70 years old, and his mindset is also different from what mine is right now. So I think there's a certain age group, or depends on how much you share about your relationships and the person that they can weigh in on that. That's just my opinion.
But the thing is, he knows, he may not know that man, but he knows the nature of men.
Okay, well, I'm saying that part, but you're saying for me, like there's a lot of amazing men. He can know the nature of them and know their great character and all that. That does not mean they're for me.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm also gonna say this also.
He can say these 5 men are great men, but that don't mean all 5 men are great for me. And like I could be among 5.
I mean, Mo, ultimately you will make the decision, but he still can see things that you may not see because a man know another man just by being around. He don't have to be around him for his whole entire life to kind of gauge who he is.
Dave, I get what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. On that first level, that first pass, I feel like, yes, he can say that. But also he knows his daughter. So he knows that I already know how to choose on the first pass. On that first level of morals, all that kind of stuff, I'm good on that. Like I can tell all that kind of stuff right there myself. On that deeper level of what really works for me day in and day out, only I can say that.
Yeah, I agree on that. I agree with that. But
they say ultimately you make the decision. I just said that.
He's saying, yeah, I mean, I still think whether he's 90 or 100, you know, even I give you an example, even with me meeting my wife's grandma, you know, great grandmother, you know, when I went to meet her, I actually was excited to me because I know she knows she's been through a lot. And when she first met me, the conversation was hilarious because I've been around women in their 90s, you know, who they just have an aura about them. You know, they have that about them that they want to have a conversation with you, but they kind of read you just right off the rip. So just because a person gets older, to me, that right there is something.
That's wisdom.
That's special.
We get that. I think you guys are not listening or hearing.
I understand what you're saying, Mo. I got what you're saying. I agree
with the
whole part as far as you be the final, you make the final say so because you pretty much in your 40s or 50s or whatever, you know you and your father knows how you move. But I was just saying to bring a man in a man.
But again, let me say this while it's fresh on my mind. I think again, it's still to me. I think it's still very important because that father have that relationship, because when a father loves his daughter, that is the only male that's always going to love her unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
She'll never get that from her partner that she's being intimate with or any of that stuff. He's going to love her unconditional. So that's very important for her to get for her to receive that early on in her adolescent days of growing up.
So Daniel, you just said something very pivotal. You said that her father is the only man that's going to love her unconditionally.
Right.
Therefore,
meaning through thick and thin, no matter what, he's there.
But isn't your husband supposed to do that as well?
No. It's still I'm saying, because I'm not saying yes, a husband's supposed to do that. Once when she get married, then he takes on the role of that. But I'm saying
before she gets married.
But she may get divorced. That's what I'm saying. She may get divorced, or she may get into something may happen for whatever reason. That father's still gonna love her. That's what I mean by unconditional.
Okay, got you.
Where the guy may marry, she may get a divorce, or he may die, she get remarried, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Her life may go on. That husband is no longer her husband for whatever reason. That makes sense.
So here's the thing. Now we have to consider how many fatherless daughters are out there, and there are many circumstances that lead to fatherless homes.
Right.
Unfortunately, many of those are the fathers leaving the children. Like, you're having babies, you have a wife, and you have babies with women across town, and because all men are not like you all. Like Cleve, he speaks often about the type of men that he hangs around. Mo and I, we're a certain type of woman, and we hang around like-minded women for the most part. So yeah, certain types of women, it was like, I can't relate to that. Right. However, they exist.
Right.
And we live in a real world where people have babies and don't take care of them. And so then you have these fatherless daughters and that turn into women, and you're saying, bring them before who? There's no one there for her to present.
And again, that's what I'm not disagreeing with you. That is a problem. That is a huge problem. That's why it's important that the men are just as important as the woman in children's lives.
Yeah, we're both important. You need
we're both as just as important. And that's what we're driving. We're not saying one greater than the other. We're saying because in the prison system, it's 80% of those black men that are arrested come from single parent homes.
And then they have children.
Right. And then they have children. Right.
They have children. So where does that leave their daughter? So there again, sometimes women fail just for the mere lack of knowledge, the lack of guidance, the lack of support. And yes, you can at some point, if they're able to admit that that's what it is, at some point you should be able to at least address it.
Well, let me interject briefly.
For women.
This is self-made. I'm just repeating what he chimed in. He said that if you choose to procreate with a substandard man, that's your fault. That's what he said. And then Jeremy said, women shouldn't be dating in their 30s and 40s. If a woman is dating at that age, they get exactly, let's see, what did he say? Exactly why you need a father to help you cut down the mistakes.
But if you don't, there's the thing. If you don't have one, you keep saying, well, you need a father. I have a father. My mama didn't get me here by herself. So there's a man that helped create me. And I'm saying me just to say, a man helped create me. So you're saying, well, you need a father. Okay, I have a father. We all have a father. Right. But does that mean that father is a good example? And it's saying, the other guy said women shouldn't be dating in their 30s and 40s. Well, men shouldn't be cheating in their 30s and 40s, running around with all these different women.
But also,
we not like stop.
Hold on one moment. That's a closed-minded perspective.
Very.
Her husband could have passed at war. It could have been very good reasons, not the no longer married or no longer. Right. I've had a long-term relationship. So are you supposed to, because a man is no longer in your life for whatever reason, never marry again, never date to get to know somebody, marry again? That's very close-minded, I gotta say. Because just like the two gentlemen on our panel, they have been married more than one time. So they had to get somehow. It wasn't osmosis of I'm done in my 38, 40, whatever, and I'm never gonna mate again or marry again. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense.
Right.
We gotta kind of open our minds and not.
And we also have to understand a lot of people are not honest. They put on facades.
Yeah.
They do these things. Like a lot of people portray a certain role, and let's just not act like sometimes people get duped.
Right.
You know, sometimes you just get duped, and he
some
wasn't
people do
a
get duped.
subpar man at first. He wasn't this, or he wasn't this person that he turned into later. You know, and those are not extreme examples. This stuff happens all the time. It's not uncommon at all.
But I will say you attract who you are.
And you attract who you are at whatever stage in your life. So for me, like, I can't complain about my kids. I have 2 daughters. They have great fathers, you know, and, you know, but I will still vouch for women who, yeah, sometimes people make bad decisions. Sometimes I know men that have children with women who are subpar women.
Because of us. Sometimes we make bad decisions at going to the wrong type of woman because she look a certain way, because she got a fat ass or whatever. Excuse my French. I'm just saying.
Look,
but
leave the fat ass women alone now. I don't like that.
My point is, it's more to a woman.
I get it. I'm
just her face and her body. That's my point.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. I love curvaceous women myself, but I'm just saying, you know. But so Jerry White chimed in again. He said,
most women
using the most extreme example to prove a point, most women have not gone through spouse passing. He said using it as an extreme point of view. That's what he's saying, Mo.
I get you. It's fine.
Look, exactly. We're the okay women. Okay.
It's fine. It's one of many. You know, like my mom died at 40. I know a lot of women who died at 40. You know what I mean? So it happens. Like I feel like we do know, and we gravitate towards the negative so much as a community that when we throw out most and all of that, because it happens on the other side too. We don't, because for instance, there's a stat of, and one thing about failure from marriages and stuff, like women leave men more than men leave women. Like, and a lot of people,
correct.
That is true. But they think men do. They think men does it, but women leave more. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Women file for more than divorce. You know,
but
we know this.
Society will have you thinking with the most divorces, they will have you thinking it was the man. The man might have done something, but he wasn't the one who left.
Right. Because why would he?
So, but I'm saying there's reasons.
Right. Key, let me ask you a question. Most of the men you around, you know, I know you have plenty of male friends, cousins, uncles.
I do.
Are they what you consider good men?
The whole good man, good woman thing, they're so subjective because I know men.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know good men. Like, I truly do. I know men who work really hard, who take care of their children. I know good men. However, there are areas where they're not good. They may be a good father, they may be a good worker, but they're not a good husband.
I think what you're looking for as is there's always flawed in people.
There's always, yes, and that's on both sides.
Both male and female.
So, but most of the men I know that I associate with, I'm not going to associate with deadbeats. I'm not going to associate with abusers. I'm not going to associate with that.
So most of the men you're around are,
I would say they're good men.
We're talking about just being fathers. Most of the men you're around are good fathers.
She froze on us.
Yeah.
Say 80% of their ability.
Okay.
You're gonna have
of the ones I know, about 80%, yes, are good fathers.
Okay. Knowing those statistics, knowing that that's what you see, would it be accurate for you to, you know, speak on that?
Well, I can't only speak on what I see. Like, you asked me the men that I'm around. So I choose not to associate with the other type of men. I don't want to be around those type of people. I do know they exist, but I don't want to be around them.
But what I'm saying, just from your family, friends, men that you know, you say 80%. right? 80%.
Yeah, and when I even with my family, I would say closer to 90% of them, like, they take care of their kids. My family does not play that, and they take care of other people's kids.
Okay.
If somebody had a child in the beginning, they take care of.
So you're saying they're bad because they may do something like have a side chick or something? That's why you went there, that type of thing when you went earlier.
Because when people say a good man, what's a good man? What's
Good
a good
father.
woman? It's different for
Good
different
father.
people.
Good
A
father.
good father. Okay.
Good,
so
good,
I know many good fathers. I know
Okay.
many good fathers.
Okay, that's the only thing I asked, because I not just saying you, but I hear women a lot, you know, want to push on men cheat and men deadbeat and men this, and when I ask them, well, just from the men that you know, just the men that you come in contact with, is it a big number of these men you talking about? And most women say no. I said, so why do we focus on the 10
negative, like Mo just said?
Yeah.
I mean, because I know deadbeat women. I know women who don't take care of their children.
Yeah.
And the father or the new wife, girlfriend, I'm one of them. So I know women who don't take care of their kids.
Because me, I focus on the majority.
I'm not one who don't take care of my kids, just to clear that up.
Majority when I speak on, you know, situations and how we need to, you know, get things, you know, fix things, because we you know, I hear women just speak on, you know, just deadbeat dad.
So, you know, another way women fail is because they're so hurt. They're so hurt, they're so damaged, and they don't take the time to actually heal. Not just to say that they've healed, not to pretend that they've healed, not to put on this face as if they're healed, but to actually take the time. Some women need to go get therapy. Some women need to just sit it out until they get themselves together. And there's the thing again about putting an age on when you shouldn't be dating. Well, maybe it took her to 30 to get her life together, to get herself together, to be prepared to receive a man. So when we start putting ages, that's why I started the conversation with these societal expectations. To tell a woman you shouldn't be dating at 30 and 40. Well, maybe she went through some trauma that she needs to not deal with the man right now, and then she's ready at 32.
Also, I want to add to that a lot of times we don't look at the kind of childhood a woman had outside of just a father or not, because father could be in a home, father could not be in a home. But there are a lot of people, but since we're talking about women, I'll say women who up in survival mode, to where if you're choosing out of survival, it's totally different than choosing out of a place of being comfortable. And not just financially, I mean secure, like in your emotions, mentally, spiritually, all of that. And I feel like that sometimes takes some time, because a lot of people don't even know they're in that space of survival mode, where if you're choosing a mate when you're in survival mode, that's just not going to work. What you're looking for, especially if you come out of survival mode. Now, if you stay in that forever, where you're always needy to that point of, or to a certain degree, where you never have your own voice and those kind of things, it could potentially work. But if you grow and evolve, that's when things are going to break down, because who you were in the beginning, a broken person, if you get healed, then that's going to be changes. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of adaptation for that. So I feel like that's another point of failure, where if you don't know that you're in survival mode, or know that you're broken in some areas and need some healing in some areas, that could impact your choosing.
But I agree with just to piggyback off what Keith said. They do a lot of they jump back into the relationship, so it's like they never give themselves time to heal, and that's very, very unhealthy, because it's bad for the new guy to come into the relationship, because he don't know the trauma that she's been through or whatever, and so it's a bad look. And he sees that, he experienced that, and he just came into the relationship, but she's still carrying on the baggage from somebody that hurt her prior to him even coming to her life.
Right.
Yeah.
And there again, like and like Mo said in the beginning, sometimes you fail yourself. You ignore certain things. Most of the times we fail ourselves. And when humans act like they've got it all together all the time, Please don't. Like, please stop it.
Right.
Like, you're
right.
to me, you're the. But so, you know, the people that have all the answers and they, you know,
Right.
they do it right every time and they've
The
never made
guru.
a mistake. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
God.
Right.
I know. Just listening, I sit and listen to guys just talk about the market, you know, the dating market. And I'm like, man, I don't see how people do it because it's rough out here.
Yeah.
Look, they say the dating pool has pee in it. That's what they say.
I mean, it's just, men don't understand the market. Women don't understand the market. And, you know, since we're talking about just women, you know, I don't think women understand, you know, the market. They just don't. They go into the market thinking that, you know, they're in their 40s. They think they could go into the market how they was in their 20s. And it doesn't work like that. You know, it just don't. And then the results of, you know, them dating several different, you know, getting in a relationship, breaking up with that guy, getting in a relationship, breaking up with that guy, they not realizing like it's you don't
right
out here ever.
Or they could be weighing their options.
Right. Self-Made said that healing is a lifetime process.
Yes,
if everyone waited until they were completely healed, no one would date.
So, like I said earlier, I said you should present the best version of yourself at that point in your life. We're forever evolving. I've already said that. But you know, we're always changing. There's always things to heal from. He's totally correct about that. However, there are certain things you should not enter into a relationship with. Right. And it's literally just that simple. Certain things you need to just sit back and wait and work on yourself. Yeah. And we're talking about why women fail, and they fail because they don't do that. Because it's like, well, I'm looking for this person to heal this part of me, and that's not their responsibility.
You definitely have to give yourself a cleansing, so to speak. When from my first marriage, when I got a divorce, I waited 2 years. You know, I mean, I was dating, I was seeing women, whatever, but I knew I wasn't like trying to get serious at the time. I mean, but I'm still a man, so I still got my needs. But I wasn't. I took myself at 2 years before I really started trying to get more serious, so to speak.
So what happens to those women who were dating you with expectation of maybe?
I'm a very forward person. I told them we're friends, and I told them they can see whoever they like, and I can see whoever I like. And if they don't like it, then I just go.
You don't have to be there, right?
Yeah, it's a choice.
Perfect. Some men aren't that straightforward.
Yeah.
And honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you at the same time, the women you like y'all determine relationships. I mean, y'all really do. Y'all determine a relationship. We determine marriage. Y'all determine relationships. So if it gets to a point where you with a person or around a guy for like 2 or 3 months, like the thing is, you have to be upfront with what you want, you know. And I know a lot of people don't like the fact that a woman may say, "Hey, look, if I'm dating a person, I'm dating to get married," but you got to tell the person, I'm dating to be married. I'm not dating to have.
Right. And you have to tell them, look, I'm not saying we get married tomorrow, but I'm saying I want a serious life.
I'm dating with a purpose.
But it's the way you address it now, because you can run them away.
Once we say that we are in a committed relationship, you know, I want to be married in this amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times that's not communicated. It's, you know, well, you know, I'm just doing whatever, and then once the sex and everything, and that person catches
feelings.
Look, I want
to
no, it don't work.
Soon as sex happen, those feelings kick in right away.
Or they say they're not looking for nothing serious, but
until you hit it right, then that changes too.
That depends on the woman.
Till you smash it right.
No, I'm just saying it depends on the woman, because when the roles are reversed and the man is like, you know, after they have sex with the woman, they're like, you know, I want to make you my wife. I don't really want to do this, and the woman's like, no, not really feeling it. It happens.
Have never happened to me. I never experienced that. But
I'm
anyway.
44 years old and I've never been dumped. So strange things happen sometimes.
Okay. She never did. No.
I'm just saying.
Woo! So we can agree that it's different with men and women out dating. Different.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
All right. Don't get quiet now. What's up? What else on your mind? Go ahead, Key. I see you smiling. What's on your
No,
mind?
I'm reading some of these comments and I'm just like, oh, okay.
What
Okay.
Self-Made says most people don't understand the sexual market value. As a childless man in his 40s, I encounter a bunch of women who are delusional about their standing in the market.
Oh, you better say that. I agree with him.
I agree with him 2,000%.
These heifers, I'm sorry,
no, you can say it. Go ahead.
I could have called them something worse, but I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you know, I'm a life coach as well. So
Okay.
I have to tell women sometimes, like, baby, listen, you're not that.
Right.
You know, sometimes you're not what you think you are, and you're not, you know, I want this, and this. Okay,
yeah.
but,
Yeah.
and I don't like the whole what you bring to the table thing, you know, but I get the concept of it. So, you know, you have women, they have poor credit.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to manage funds. They don't want to work. They don't know how to cook. And I'm not saying you have to be this domestic, you know, because some men don't mind. Some men cook better than women. I know a lot of successful marriages where the man does most of the cooking and it's just fine.
That was me once upon a time, but it won't be me again. I'm back to the old fashioned way.
Why gotta be the old fashioned way? You just do what works for the two.
Back to the old fashioned way. I want my woman in that kitchen. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the table. Yes, I said it.
I mean, you just do what works for you. You know, I feel like people in relationships should do what works best for them. But back to, you know, these women that feel like they're like the best thing and they're the only one with the vagina. We all have one, baby. We all have one.
Every female has a vagina. That's what they.
Every single, and some men who were born, some of them got some made. So let's, like, I have to tell these women. Yeah, we ain't dealing with them. But
yeah, we ain't talking about them.
but you know, these women, they feel like sex and, like you said, the what they look like, or
yeah,
you know,
they think that's it.
or even you have these women that show up on a first date in a wedding dress, like you already want to get married. You don't even know this person. Like, cut it out. You're delusional. So this man told you he's not serious. He doesn't want anything consistent. He doesn't want this. He doesn't want that, and you're just trying to force it on him. He told you he didn't want that.
Right.
You're delusional.
So what do you think about the woman that always, you know, the ones that are out here dating, and they always feel like, you know, that it's always for the man to pay, and they always they want to choose the restaurant that they're going on, but they want the man to pay the 100% of the bill.
I feel do what works for you, because I've never had an issue with that type of thing, and wherever I go, whether he pays or not, I have my own money.
But I noticed when I was out there in the dating game, I noticed there were people who would just date. I've heard females say they would just date just to get a meal, which I think is crazy.
I do too.
I think it's a waste.
I think that's very crazy.
That bad off. I'm like, you that bad off, well, you can't even go get your own meal.
And those are the type of women that he's talking about are delusional.
It's an entitlement thing and a delusional mindset. It's not even that they're bad off, a lot of them. It's just they feel empowered by people always giving and paying and doing for them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I mean, even if you go to a very nice restaurant, so you like a woman that feels empowered because somebody spent $200 or $300, like, what type of woman are you?
Right.
I can't relate.
Right.
$200 or $300 does not make me feel empowered.
Right. But they feel like, I don't know, they feel like they're getting over on something, you know. It's like
on themselves. That's who they're getting over on.
But again, you just cheated yourself because you're standing in the presence of a person you don't want to be with. So why waste your time?
Right. And that's the most ridiculous thing. They don't realize
you just cheated yourself from your time. You just robbed yourself from your time.
Right.
Yeah, I know, you know, several women that do that. They got a guy, you know, they want steak, they call him. They want shrimp, lobster, they call him. You know, they got money. But look, the crazy thing is they dating they go on dates with 4 or 5 different guys, but that's not who they're giving the cookie to.
Right.
Exactly.
And the ones you laying down with, he's doing nothing. He's doing barely nothing.
Is there?
Matter of fact, she bringing a doggy bag after she.
Right. She gonna feed him. She gonna feed him so he can feed her.
Bag.
What did you say, Mo? You were saying something.
No, I was saying like I don't understand the end game of that. What
Right.
women that you know who do that? What is their goal? What is their end game?
Well, the saying is men do it to women all the time. That's the saying. And I said, yeah, I said, well, let's see how that works out for you.
And that's not, that's not gonna go far anyway. It's not going too far.
Why would you want to do? Why would you want to do that to someone that that have done that to you? Like, that makes no sense to me. Anything you put out here, you're gonna get it back.
Right.
And you, that's a great point. I'm with Mo. I don't understand the end game, and I don't understand the whole, free meal. Now, if you're being upfront and you're like, hey, I'm not really interested in you in a relationship perspective, but I like hanging out with you.
Right.
That's different. So that means every now and then you need to foot the bill. Right.
But I think it's very shallow of a person to want to go just to eat because they know this person is going to pay because they have a cute face or whatever. I just think that's crazy.
You shouldn't go if you know that even though a woman's interest is not there and she makes that clear, if she knows and can still feel the energy that he's interested,
right,
to take just because of that, I feel like
yeah, she shouldn't be taking. She shouldn't continue taking because a lot of you have some guys that they get blinded by the beauty,
they get
blinded by the booty.
Yes, they do.
And so they want to continue pressing on because they thinking that there's a chance.
Right.
And even if they feel like they have a 1% chance, they will continue to press on when they shouldn't. Because
so is that the woman's fault?
Energy doesn't lie. Energy. One thing about energy, it doesn't lie.
Right. Now, it's a woman's fault, Key, but I'm saying there is some responsibility. Yes, it's not her fault.
Yeah, I was just asking to be like, so if he keeps on and she's told him, like,
I feel like she's responsible for that. Yes,
he is, because I have had to cut off dating relationships because I knew I didn't feel the same way, and they were good men, and
Mr.
I'm just
Rico,
like,
thanks for coming in. I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
But I'm like, you're just not the guy that I'm into like that. So I don't want you to continue. I've cut off relationships like that. And, surprisingly, some men don't like when you do that, but that's not my problem.
How many days did you go on before you cut them off?
Mine mostly one.
Mine maybe be two, no more than 3.
Right.
And then that's, maybe.
I'm telling you.
If you so meaning after you got to know him, you like, yeah, this is okay.
Right, because like it's after I'm really like, because sometimes you meet a person on the first date and it's like, okay, possibly it's a maybe, it's a strong maybe. So you test it out a couple more times, and then you just no, and then you just have to tell them. I don't believe in using people, but also by the 3rd date, I've probably paid at least one time.
But how men think by the 2nd or 3rd date, we ready to get down, we ready to smash.
And that's what I say one, because on the first date, I have to be very in tune with what it is that I want and the person wants. That's when I was dating, right? So I don't want to waste any guy's time, and I could tell if they're very into me or whatever, and I'm very. And it's not that they were horrible people, but like if it's something there that I'm like, I'm not really interested on that level, I feel like it's my responsibility not to say, well, maybe, I know some people are okay with that maybe, but I'm not okay with that maybe, because I feel like that's leading on at that point, especially because it's not like one day out the blue. It was some conversations and stuff too, right? And then first date, there was probably a few conversations that can solidify that maybe before you get to the second date.
Right.
So if you see the guy the first date, you're not attracted to him, would you go on the second date?
Well, I wouldn't know what he looked like. So
you mean attracted in what respect? Because you may not be physically attracted to someone, but you could be intellectually.
Like, damn, he could like how y'all lady said, he could get it. Like,
get it.
Yeah, but
and see, for me,
if you look at him and be like, I
think I've come to a point in life where looking at like physically, yes, I can see what an attractive man looks like, but there's never a first time where I'm like, oh, he can get it, because I'm no, not when it comes to sex. Like I respect my body a little more than that.
Just having a conversation, he just don't do it for you. Would you go on a second date with him?
No, because I'm totally a conversationist. I need to be able to speak with you, and we need to be able to have intelligent conversation. If you text me and you don't know the difference between your and your, it's gonna turn me off. Like, that bothers me.
Hey, maybe he drive trucks and he was trying to say it through voice.
Okay, but if you do it 10 times and you don't know the difference between KNOW and NO, that bothers me.
That's that. Hey, that's that North Atlanta.
It really is.
Landing your girl.
It turns me off so bad.
Right.
I love communication, especially intellectual communication. So if we can't have that, like that's a telltale sign of what a long relationship would be like, right?
Yeah.
And all viewpoints, you got to listen to viewpoints too. It could be as simple as, but which is a big thing, as people's perspective on things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that can also give you some signs really early on. And a lot of women ignore all of that. Another failure point. They ignore all of those signs.
Absolutely.
They, and also sometimes the man could be given all the green checks and all of that, but based on what a man is saying, a woman can know that's not me, and that's not me, and they still go ahead too, and that's wrong.
Let me ask y'all this, but speaking that we talking about, ladies, because I've talked to a friend, and do y'all ladies, y'all want an emotional man?
I want a man that can express emotion when needed and realize that I'm a safe place. Like, sometimes the world can beat him up, whatever. He had a bad day. I want to be able to, express that rather than just come home and tear everything up. You know what I'm saying? Or, and also express what I mean to him. I do want that. Now,
and that goes back to communication.
Yeah.
Because some people don't know how to effectively communicate. We were not taught emotional intelligence in school. So unless you took the time to learn that on your own, to get...
She froze up again.
It counts again. I know I froze again because I saw you all looking.
Yeah.
So I was saying that emotional intelligence is not taught in school. It's not taught to us in our community. So unless you take the time to learn that on your own, or to, just look upon yourself to say, hey, how am I communicating? How do I express emotion? And for men, it's even worse, I would say, because, you all talk, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. Yes, I want a man that can express his emotions without anger, without feeling like he's less of a man for expressing his emotions to me. You don't have to express them to everyone.
Yeah.
But
so
at least be able to effectively communicate your emotions to me.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Research TV say most women are not worth chasing for sex, but the pandering guys love to hunt, yet they complain at the same time. Silly guys. I agree.
I don't. The whole concept of chasing women for sex, like, it's plenty of women giving sex away for free. Yeah. So why do you ever have to chase?
Self-made said the wall is undefeated, like Floyd Mayweather.
What wall? What? Oh, her wall.
The wall.
I can't relate.
Yeah. But
I can't relate.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're almost at the hour. So I have one more question to ask both. It's one question that both of you guys can answer. Okay, both of you guys are in your early 40s or mid 40s. What kind of advice would you give the 20-year-old person of yourself? What would you tell the younger version of yourself at age of 20?
As far as relationships, Daniel?
Yes. What kind of advice would you give yourself 20 years ago?
Oh, it sounds cliche, but I would say know your worth. Eat on both sides. Know what you're willing to give, and know what others out of what people want, know what you're willing to give, and out of what you receive, know what you're worth receiving. That's be one thing. And then also learn communication. Learn to balance your emotions as well. Like, it's okay to have emotions, but balancing them, like he said, that's something we're not taught. Communicating thoroughly and effectively early on is something we're not taught. So those are things that I would encourage young women to really get to a point where they're always growing in those areas, but at least start early.
Right.
Okay, I would definitely tell my younger self to not try to be a fixer. I'm totally like, I had found myself totally being a fixer, like feeling like you can love it out of people. Like if I love you enough, if I show you what love looks like, if I show you what this looks like, it'll make you better. When really that's not my responsibility. I mean, I can help you and guide you and support you during that, but that's not my responsibility to shoulder. So, just don't try to be a fixer.
Right.
Right. Okay, so we're about to bring this thing to a close. What you got, Brother Cleve?
Thanks everyone. Especially thanks our two guests. I appreciate it. Y'all family. Y'all come on here anytime.
Y'all always welcome on any subject matter. Doesn't matter. But let me say this. I want to thank the guys for coming in. Thank you, Self-Made, Jeremy White, Mr. Research TV, Cha Pa. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you. I appreciate the subscribers. Please like, share, subscribe. Again, we just need to help get this algorithm going. We're trying to grow this channel. On that note, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.